Digital portfolios are an online tool that is being used more and more in today's technologically driven society. Portfolios are a collection of work that can document the achievements of the author. They are widely used through early childhood centres, universities, and are becoming an emerging trend in schools through high school, upper, middle, and lower primary. Digital portfolios are a collection of work. This work may have been collated for assessment, be a collection of memories, documented evidence of developmental milestones, or a collection of artwork. The collection may include snapshots of the process, the journey of learning, or contain evidence of summative assessment, the final product. Final product provides evidence and a demonstration of learning outcomes achieved. High-quality portfolios will contain clear goals and outlines and gathers items that help the teacher to understand the child. There will be plenty of opportunity for formative and summative assessments throughout the portfolio process. Helen Barrett describes the evidence contained in the portfolio to be a combination of artefacts, reflection, and validation. A teacher-centred portfolio is where the teacher's voice is heard most predominantly. It appears to be neatly filed and ordered chronologically, linking to developmental milestones that have been achieved. A focus on the skills. When compared to others, the children's portfolios will all look similar, and the only individuality will be in the individual learning stories attached to the evidence. These portfolios appear to be a checklist of accomplishments aligned to the curriculum and have a strong end product focus, an online file for documented evidence. Documentation is a way of making children's learning visible, a way to interact with children and communicate this with parents and evaluate their child against the norms of child development. A child-centred portfolio is one that is driven by the student and contains copies of work that the child would like to include. The portfolio is theirs and created by them. A child-centred portfolio has a strong child voice. They have autonomy over the production. As such, there is a lot of reflection on the learning, which creates discussions with the teacher, creating a paradigm shift of the teacher from director to facilitator, scaffolding the child's learning. This promotes more engagement, supporting Barrett's concept of artefacts and reflection. These discussions build the validity of the learning and combined produce the evidence needed to reach the expectations outlined for the task. The portfolio should follow the learning journey of the task of outcome for the child to reflect and grow with. When implementing digital portfolios in the classroom, there needs to be discussions about the purpose for implementing, how the school will accommodate the application, and if there are any additional needs from the teacher to implement what is required. These are the considerations to be attended before you start. What is the purpose for implementing digital portfolios? If it is to showcase work for the child to document their own learning, there are important factors to consider, and this will affect which site or application your school or classroom will use. Different applications have different features, and some homework will need to be conducted to find the application that will best suit the needs of the portfolio. Portfolios can be an extremely useful tool for insight into what the child understands from a task or learning concept. Each child is an independent learner, and their portfolio is an avenue to articulate their understanding and make connections between learning outcomes. Through reflection of their portfolio, children engage higher order thinking skills and a positive growth mindset, building confidence in self and their learning. When portfolios are used in a child-centred focus, the portfolio itself is a vital learning tool, not just an avenue for snapshots of end products and assessments. Some considerations for the school include the Wi-Fi network. Will it be strong enough to maintain and support each classroom while they are working on their portfolios? Will there be hardware or software to purchase, and will the teachers then need professional development to learn how to drive the system? Will the students and teachers need technical support from the information service at school or from the applications help desk itself? This is important as some sites and applications are based overseas, so a phone call is not always a practical solution to disruptive errors. Stakeholders in any educational interest include the child, teacher, administration, and the parents. When looking at the prospect of implementing a digital portfolio to a classroom or task, requires approval on all these levels. A digital portfolio can be an instant and regular way to communicate with parents, as the portfolio can give them an immediate view into their child's learning and generate discussions at home. Another consideration is the equity of digital portfolios. Not every household has access to digital technology, and care and consideration needs to be employed with students in less economic circumstances than others. One way to accommodate this is to allow time in class for students to use the school resources. While this solution may address the needs of the child, the teacher, and administration as stakeholders, it does not address the needs of the parents, as they will not have access to the portfolio. With teachers' participation, we need to be aware of who the author of the portfolio is. A very common question, especially in the early years of schooling. Kindergarten-aged children are not capable of inputting their own work, and therefore the teacher would be required to add supporting anecdotal records. However, they need to be very aware that the child's voice is the main feature, otherwise it will become a teacher-directed portfolio. Another consideration is how much time will electronic portfolios take? What will be the personal commitment of the teacher? Do the school leaders need to put guidelines in place for submitting documents? Does the classroom teacher have time to maintain the portfolio? Portfolios in the early years of primary school can be very time-consuming, and teachers already have a heavy load to contend with. There are many different types of digital portfolios on the internet. Ones that you create yourself, templates, company-based, ones specific for education, some set purely for the early years of school, and even some that connect to the curricular needs of Australia. There are many different sites and applications for use in today's classrooms. An important factor to research is the purpose of the portfolio. What do you intend the children to achieve by using it? This will be the guidelines for decision making. Another decision will be where the site or application is based and what their privacy settings will include. Where are the photos stored and the hackability of that storage? I have listed some sites and applications that received better reviews. However, I note that I have not been able to find an official documentation of evidence to support validity of privacy, and this is a work in progress for myself, as I believe that this will be a strong contender to parent participation. Some of the websites that have received positive reviews online include KidBlog, 3Ring, Google Sites, PebblePad, Evernote, Seesaw, Storypark, and Weebly. Some of these are applications for Android and some are for Apple. So this is a personal reflection of 2 digital portfolio sites that I have investigated. Seesaw is a site that I've recently explored since hearing about it at a local teachers' symposium. Aspects of it that I liked included the potential for children to have a real ownership of their portfolio. Children can upload pictures of their work and annotate their upload with written text or oral recordings. There is an option for the teacher to create multiple files for each learning area under each individual child. The teacher is able to have individual communications with families and send whole group messages for the class. These messages can be via written text, oral message, or video upload. This site allows for transparency of learning outcomes and could build a sense of community for the classroom as parents receive notifications via a connecting app that they can download. Another important factor is that as the teacher, I am in control of what is uploaded onto the site. Parents can feel free to write comments about their child's documented story, but it will not be published until I have given final approval. Children themselves cannot complete the upload and publish it until I have also given final approval. Storypark is an application that I worked with last year. It was trialled in my workplace where I was a kindergarten teacher, and it was being looked at to be rolled out fully this year. What I enjoyed about this application was the ability to take a snapshot of the children and upload to the child's portfolio and attach tags that aligned with the kindergarten curricular guidelines. I could attach a learning story relating to the picture or video to support my evidence. When I submitted the story, parents were able to view it straight away through the app that they could download. They were able to respond to posts and even upload their own stories from home. One good factor about the Storypark application is the ability to generate reports. These reports could be based on the classroom or on each individual, and it gave you an idea of what outcomes the children were addressing within the kindergarten curriculum guidelines. I have heard now that this application is being connected to the Australian curriculum and that teachers are now using it through the early years of school up to Year 2. Digital portfolios are a 21st century option to view the learning journey of children. They can be used for specific tasks or projects or for a year-long view into the learning. They are being used for transitioning children through the years and providing an insight to the students' understanding of learning while building a sense of community through transparency and communication with parents. Portfolios are an extremely efficient learning tool as they promote reflection of learning. This reflection engages the students in thought processes about their thinking, metacognition, and encourages critical and higher order thinking while building a positive growth mindset.